Sean the Irishman. He loves female directors. Let me show you all the films I have, the DVDs I have, directed by women. I think they're all in here. Yeah, we got Frozen. That was directed by Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck. We got what is this? Camera Person by Kirsten Johnson. That's a documentary. Let's see, Hurt Locker. That's Catherine Bigelow, European Gigolo. We got Lena Wertmuller with Seven Beauties. Fuck.
Hot, hot, ooh, we got it. Hot, hot, ooh, we got it. Hot, hot. Hot coffee. 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 Kill myself. Hey everyone, Irishman Rants here, and I'm really excited for the new Wonder Woman movie. Not because I'm really a big fan of superhero movies or comic books in general. I read a bunch of Simpsons comics when I was a kid, and I started to read Batman around the time that Dick Grayson started to wear the cape and cowl, but I wasn't really an active buyer of the latter. So, if I'm not really excited because of comic book nostalgia or superhero film love, then what am I excited for? Well, the director. Patty Jenkins is going to be directing the new Wonder Woman movie, and her previous filmography includes Monster, and that's about it. If you haven't seen Monster, I definitely recommend it. It is exhilarating, and it's just so raw. It also contains probably one of the greatest performances ever captured on film, that of Charlize Theron as Eileen Wuornos, a prostitute living in 1990s Florida who decides to kill her Johns in order to make a living to support her lesbian lover, played by Christina Ricci. She won an Academy Award for her performance, which she very much well deserved, and went from becoming just another pinup girl to a serious actress. It also has a grizzled Bruce Dern, so you know it's gotta be good.
God told me about this show, man. I love you, man.
Yeah, and I love you too, Terry.
No, I mean it, man. I love you. I'm gonna clean you up because we got some fucking to do.
That's the same actor. After Patty Jenkins directed Monster, she really didn't do any other films. The only other film I guess she did was Five, but she was just one of 5 directors that contributed to that film. Before that, she also did a couple of episodes of Arrested Development and other shows. She also directed the pilot for The Killing on AMC, which got her an Emmy nomination. But Wonder Woman is her first feature-length film in 14 years, and I'm really excited for it because Monster, of course, is one of my favorite films of all time, and it's just really great to see her back again. But today she was the subject of some controversy. You see, when the Hollywood Reporter posted one of their articles, which was a piece about Patty Jenkins, that included interviews with her, as well as Gal Gadot and Charlize Theron. The Twitter caption that they put was, #Wonder Woman. Warner Bros. Is gambling $150 million with a director whose only prior big screen credit was an $8 million indie. And people called sexism pretty fast. Mostly because this isn't the first time that Hollywood's gambled on someone whose previous film was under $15 million. And most of those were white, cis-het males. Oh, God! Many people, including my good friend Scotty Berg, decided to kind of call out this article saying, hey, what about Colin Trevorrow, Gareth Edwards, Mark Webb, Josh Trank, all those white cis male directors who got millions for their films and weren't called gambles at all. Despite the fact that Colin Trevorrow was called a gamble when he was told to helm Jurassic World back in 2015 by establishments like The Wrap. Yeah, not the first time that this has been addressed. So maybe we're just trying to look for outrage. And I was a bit outraged myself because, I really like Patty Jenkins, so I was worried that this was another case of a kind of sexist article. Of course, I only read the article when I was deciding to do this rant video. Because I'm I'm a hack cunt. I actually read the article, and a lot of people have also been criticizing the author of it as being sexist for its first couple paragraphs, because Patty Jenkins is critiqued on her wardrobe and also called petite by the author. And, Colin Trevorrow isn't criticized for wearing, his t-shirts and whatnot and looking like Adam Sandler on a red carpet or something. Well, most people kind of forgot that the author's first name is Tatiana. So, yeah, a woman wrote the article. Apparently, she's still sexist, I guess? Maybe it's some internalized misogyny or something. Though, then again, the article, which is called The Complex Gender Politics of the Wonder Woman Movie by Tatiana Siegel, is kind of wonky in its writing a bit, especially in those first couple paragraphs. The most expensive film ever shot by a person with 2 X chromosomes. Fuck, man, you could just say woman. You don't have to be, having this purple prose and shit. You're not a slime best or whatever. But the article, I honestly would say you could probably give it a try. Outside those first 2 paragraphs, which were pretty much taken out of context to make it seem like the article itself was sexist, ignoring the fact that it was written by a fucking woman. As you can tell, that kind of pissed me off a little bit. It's actually kind of just goes into this sort of encyclopedic rundown of her life and whatnot. Patty Jenkins' life. It also features, again, just interviews and talking about the struggle of being able to open doors for women in the industry. It's a decent read, but many people cried sexism because, why didn't you say this about Colin Trevorrow or Josh Trank or, I don't know, Steven Spielberg, his Mexican counterpart. And again, I was one of those people who was outraged at first, and IMDb just crashed on me. And I was one of the people that was outraged at first, so I even made a list on IMDb called Hollywood is Taking a Gamble on Patty Jenkins, in quotes, and decided to go with any of those second-time directors. You know what I mean. Those directors who make this directorial debut that's under $50 million, and then they're assigned to a tentpole by the studio for like $100 million or so. And it's been going on for years, but I decided to only go from 2011, even though I know it's gone back to Gavin Hood and Senior Spielbergo. But here it is, 14 people who have had the sickness known as second-time tentpole directing. Alright, the first one is Duncan Jones. He directed Moon for $5 million, and then he took Ben Ripley's Source Code 2 years later for $32 million. Not really a tentpole, but, bigger budget. Rupert Wyatt, this is where it starts to come in. The Escapist for $2 million in 2008. His next film was Rise of the Planet of the Apes for $93 million. He then decided to not stick with the franchise and direct The Gambler. Now he has no career. Ooh, Mark Webb. That's one of the big names that's thrown around a lot. 500 Days of Summer, which was $7.5 million. He went on to do The Amazing Spider-Man, which was $230 million. Jesus, for a reboot. Wow, that's a lot of money. Side note, I actually like The Amazing Spider-Man. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but I actually do. Then again, I haven't seen Spider-Man 3 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so maybe I'm just lucky. Noah Murrow. Probably never heard of this guy. I'll tell you why. His first film was Smart People in 2008 for an unknown amount, but a low budget. His next film after that was 300, Rise of an Empire for $110 million. You guys all remember when they made a sequel to 300? Like 3 years ago? That was a hoot. Yeah, you could kind of see why he didn't go on to direct anything else after that, because he kind of decided to do a 300 movie. Gareth Edwards, Monsters for £500,000, pretty low. His next film was Godzilla for $160 million, and then he went on to Rogue One, so he's kind of like the sub Colin Trevorrow. Patrick Hughes, Red Hill for an unknown amount. His next film was Expendables 3 for $90 million. Don't feel bad for him, though. He's directing The Hitman's Bodyguard this year. Colin Trevorrow. Oh, there's Jesus Christ himself, Colin Trevorrow. Safety Not Guaranteed in 2012 for $750,000. And Jurassic Park was his next film for $150 million. Again, he was called a gamble by some publications. It's just that some people forget it, either to A, continue their narrative that if Patty Jenkins was white cis het male, there wouldn't be any article about her, or B, because that was 2 years ago. Josh Trank, Wonder Boy himself, Chronicle for $12 million, Fantastic Four for 10 times that with $120 million. And then he went on to go live in Troy Duffyville because no one wants to work with him anymore. Because, god damn it, stop punching everybody, Josh. Josh, stop being a baby. Kate Mara is a woman. You don't hit women. Alright, Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler? Oh my god. He's on this list? But I thought this list was only supposed to be white cis het males. Are you saying that a person of color is actually among the males that are on this list? But yeah, Fruitvale Station, 2013, $900,000. His next film was the best Rocky film, in my opinion, Creed, for $35 million. So yeah, if you could say it's all a bunch of white cis het males that are given these opportunities, you're kind of missing out on Ryan Coogler, who is, by the way, also going to be directing Black Panther next year. So, yeah, you're kind of generalizing here. Then again, he is a male, so you could probably say it's only males, but just don't say white males, because then you're probably a self-loathing racist. By the way, go watch Creed, it's also pretty good. Jay Blakeson. Who the hell is this guy? Disappearance of Alice Creed for $800,000. His next film was The Fifth Wave for $38 million. I know that's not really big to many people because that film flopped, but it was one of those young adults novel adaptations that was supposed to be probably a franchise or something. So technically he is a tentpole director. Dave Green, Earth to Echo for $13 million. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows for $135 million. Oh, you didn't go with Jonathan Liebsman? You know, the poor man's Michael Bay. David Lowery, Ain't Them Body Saints for $4 million. Next film was Pete's Dragon for $65 million. Jordan Vogt Roberts, another name that's thrown around a lot. Kings of Summer for an unknown amount. His next film was Kong Skull Island for $185 million. Jesus, John C. Reilly must have been asking way too much that day. And finally, Dean Israelite, Project Almanac for $12 million. His next film was Power Rangers for $100 million. Again, none of those were women, so yeah, it is a lot of male directors that give these opportunities, but that's also because there's a lot more, male representation for directors in Hollywood. But again, not white males, because we do have Ryan Coogler, we have the one black friend. Wow. But either way, is this controversy about actual sexism? Not really. I mean, I do think that there is some pressure being put onto Patty Jenkins, a lot of pressure, if you will, for her being a woman director, being given a film that's $150 million. The previous person to be given a lot of money, that was a woman, was $100 million for Catherine Bigelow's K-9, The Widowmaker. I should probably make sure those DVDs are okay. But overall, it just seems like we should be more or less addressing this trend of giving these hopeful directors with an artistic vision tentpole films with hundreds of millions of dollars, mostly just to kind of either stifle their creativity or create the next Spielberg, or one of the two, or both. And most of the time, they're given these flops, I told you, Josh, stop hitting people. It's not clobbering time, Josh. And also about that pressure to give Patty Jenkins paving the way for women. I don't mean to sound cynical, but I kind of see it being same old after this. Now, hear me out. I really hope that there is a lot more opportunities for female directors after this. And I do think that there is a lot of focus on Patty Jenkins because people want that to happen. We wouldn't be paying attention to her being a female director if not for the times where we're in where we want more representation, but also because we do want there to be more female directors given higher budgeted projects and whatnot. The 90s are kind of over, and that's the era of people like Betty Thomas and Amy Heckerling and Penelope Srefers. Again, I love you, man. Overall, while I do think there is a tinge of sexism, this is being blown way out of proportion, and I apologize for kind of enabling that. Because, for one thing, you could say, oh, no one's ever been called a gamble, even though everyone has been a gamble, like these examples. Colin Trevorrow was a gamble, and he was called out for it. Oh, but, you know, it's all the white males. Ryan Coogler went from 0.9 to 35 million. You're pressing me, but I'm sorry to everyone. This outrage is officially debunked. I'm sorry to Scotty Berg. You'll find outrage somewhere else. You could get mad at people getting mad about the woman-only Wonder Woman screenings. Which, by the way, I support those screenings, by the way, because, you know, Wonder Woman has been deserving of a film for a long time. And she is a big milestone for female superhero films, you know. We've had shit like Catwoman and Tank Girl and Elektra. It's nice to have one that's actually getting positive critical reception, you know, because it has Patty Jenkins behind it, and she's fucking awesome. Yeah, not really some outrage. It's just kind of people trying to get outraged at a probably poorly phrased headline. You know, maybe if it had more context or more than 140 characters, maybe we wouldn't be so outraged. But yeah. Just Cov Feifei. Go focus on the memes of Cov Feifei. It's much funnier, and you'll have a lot more fun than trying to pretend you're mad, trying to score points with chicks. Alright? So, yeah. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go into my invisible jet. Oh, cool, there's Monster and Hurt Locker behind here. And a blanket. And a severed cock.
Scream! Now let me fucking hear it!